What happened to Club Penguin is a tragedy. One of our favorite childhood games was turned into a wasteland filled with child predators and scammers. Well, kind of. After the original Club Penguin was shut down, things took a dark turn for the game. Knockoff servers emerged, leading to chaos and unsupervised anarchy. Well, what went wrong with our childhood classic, and how were these problems eventually addressed? Let's dive into the turbulent history and uncover the dark side of Club Penguin's legacy. The year is 1999, and Lance Prevey of Rocket Snow wanted to create a massive multiplayer snowball game called Snow Blasters. Well, the problem was he didn't know how to make a multiplayer game in Flash. He wanted to start small, so Experimental Penguins was born. In this game, you could move around, talk to your friends, and find a random excavation machine that has fireworks? This game was where the groundwork and core components of Club Penguin was made. However, the game was suffering from success and had to shut down a year later due to the server's cost. Just like you can make me suffer from success by hitting that subscribe button. The next build was called Penguin Chat, and it was a huge step up from Experimental Penguins. Emotes, rooms, and a new UI are included. This game had over 1 million players, and the next year he changed the name to Club Penguin, because everyone wants to be in a club. And that's how Club Penguin was born. However, Lance was unable to work on the game, which meant the game was going to be released in 2010. 5 years later. Luckily, this was not the case because a few of Lance's coworkers loved the idea and made a whole new company based solely on the creation of Club Penguin. So instead of 5 years, the game was launched in 2 months. So the beta was launched on August 22nd, 2005. And here are some of the early concepts, and they're very interesting. They're similar, but they definitely have changed a lot. And with that, the game was released October 24th of that year. And even the developers said it wasn't finished by any means. So the next 2 years, they were solving bugs and fixing all their problems, to which the game was bought out by none other than Disney in 2007 for $350 million. $350 million, which should have been $700 million because they promised them they'd give even more if the game hit like a growth marker, which it surprisingly didn't. However, the number of players was skyrocketing and Club Penguin had accumulated over 200 million players. So Disney did what Disney does and made accessories and a membership that nerfed the free-to-play. One example being you can only have 2 puffles, meanwhile people with a membership got 75. They also made merchandise such as clothing and plushies and a card game which is similar to the ninjutsu one in the game. On top of that, Disney promoted all of their new movies such as Frozen and Zootopia and made themed parties for them. Disney was making bank off this game and they really did milk it. All of these promotions and sales were the opposite of the original Club Penguins team because they wanted nothing to do with marketing. That didn't matter. Even though there were things locked behind a paywall, this game was still played by millions. So yeah, this game was a huge deal to the gaming scene and made many people's childhoods. However, all good things must sadly come to an end, for after 2013 the numbers decreased to a sad 6 million in 2016. Before we give the game its send-off, I would like to mention the most hilarious event that happened. It was 2016 after the election and people would go on Club Penguin and say Trump's quotes and say "not my president," which I think is so wild to do on a kid's game. Funny enough, the numbers did have a bit of a resurgence, but it wasn't enough. And shortly after, in January 2017, they announced the end of Club Penguin. A sad moment for all. I can't lie though, it had such a perfect ending. Fans have always theorized that the iceberg could be tipped, and it finally happened with the Waterlawn Party. The iceberg flipped, dance floors, party hats, and a stone which read, "Together, we can build an island, create a community, change the world, and even tip an iceberg, Waterlawn." And after that, on March 30th, the party ended, and so did the game. And with that, our history lesson is finally over. We all know now that this game revolutionized the scene and was adored by players. So now, let's move on to
the horrible future of Club Penguin.
Before we move into the literal crimes, let's dive in to the game that Disney made as a Club Penguin cash grab. Club Penguin Island was released March 29th, 2017, and this game promoted Disney's movies way too much. This game alone was not awful, but to be a sequel to the original Club Penguin, it fell fast and hard. Mostly because everything was blocked behind a membership. I never ended up getting it, so tell me if it was worth it. Anyways, if this game was integrated instead of made to replace the original, I believe it maybe could have worked if money wasn't such a big factor of it. It's sad though, because I believe they tried. In 2015, they made a sneak peek that referred to a new world called Super Secret Project to hype everyone up. And on top of that, the new models and expressions were nice, but the execution was horrible, so of course it fell off and it was shut down on December 20th the following year. Even the ending wasn't even bad. It's got me in my feels and I didn't even play it. Just watch. Oops, wrong one. It was actually really long, so I'm gonna speed it up. Everyone basically just like gets what they want at the end. Right, that's enough of that. Now we're in the field of the post-original Club Penguin. Now it's time for the scariest. I'm just gonna start out by saying this is my second time doing this because I didn't realize how deep this went and how awful this truly was. But I watched the video made by Twix and it really, holy moly. Let's get into it. Club Penguin Online was launched in 2017. It was one of the many reboots made after the original Club Penguin shut down. However, this one had the most servers, which sucked because it was the worst. It was truly disgusting. There was horrible staff with little to no moderation. The British Broadcasting Corporation did research on the server, and what they found was shocking and disturbing. The server owners removed the filters on the game that prevented racism and hate speech. They also saw a lot of penguin e-sex happening. Not only that, there were no verifications made for children, meaning they had access to all these horrible things, and that is a really big deal. The server was fierce and would often DDoS opposing servers to get more players to join their site instead. The leader of the server, Riley, who also went as tons of other names such as Anthony and Satan, was the mastermind behind all this. He referred to this server as his empire, and his goal was to make money. He had many cases against him for asking underage children for illicit pictures. The worst part is that it actually worked. He convinced children to send him the pictures in exchange for admin or moderator or whatever he wanted to get them on the server. Truly disgusting. There were a lot of postings on YouTube from his coworkers, the most famous one being the one that I said earlier, Twix, and I'll have that in my description, speaking out against the man, which eventually led to his arrest. And in May 2020, the server was hit with a cease and desist by Disney and justice was served. It does suck though that this server ruined so many others because there were ones that were genuine who really just loved the game and wanted it to come back, but that one ruined all the other ones, so that sucks. At least Club Penguin Rewritten is still up, so that's good. It's just so crazy that this game took place in what I consider my biggest childhood game, and I had no clue. Now we're done with that. I can't finish this video without talking about how much I love this game and how much joy I had with playing it. Club Penguin, a masterpiece where penguins and puffles would live in harmony, enjoying their time on Club Penguin Island. This game was a staple of my childhood. I would spend countless hours becoming a water ninja and becoming the best snow sledder around. I believe that after the events of Club Penguin Online, it was time to rest for Club Penguin. There are still servers out there, but none to the extent of the ones made back in 2017. A bittersweet moment for me because it was truly a game that brought me joy. Alright, and since you made it to the end, you get to hear the story of my first username. It was a cold night in 2014, and my mom made my sister make me a Club Penguin account. She really didn't want to, but she knew she had to. So she did the only reasonable thing and named my freaking account Poopy Alex 1. Yeah, Poopy Alex 1 was my Club Penguin name, and it was better than all of yours. Subscribe and get out of here.